Hello and welcome to this crazy edition of Take the Fair Out the Gear with me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Yeah, me, Jason Bangers, and today we're talking about where is music and music production going these days. Thing is, almost everything's been done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? I mean, some of the productions out there are awesome. We've heard great digital recordings. We've heard awesome, fantastic analog recordings. And you just can't beat the analog stuff. However, the digital's got so close now. However, again, they got close way back, like with the Fairlight, you know.
Yeah, the converters on the Fairlight, we're talking about not the original Fairlight, the CMI, the sampler, the more sort of recent Fairlights, where we can show you one of those if you want, but it sounded like tape, didn't it?
Yeah, and you push it hard like tape as well. Everything I recorded on it was lit up like a Christmas tree. Everything was in the red.
And it just...
I got away with it.
Yeah, that's an amazing system, so a leap forward for sure.
Well, I've been watching... across various videos on YouTube, you get these adverts come up and you see these weird and wafty people, what things that they're doing. There's this new thing, Simon said it's by Facebook, but it's called Meta. There's like a meta world now where you can live in a reality world. You create your avatar and it's just a world of whatever you want. And this guy, he made himself almost neon in blue with a spiky hair that was glowing. And he was going around his house with a chainsaw cutting stuff up. I mean, it weren't real. But then I said to Si, in this meta world, maybe we could have, with guitars and keyboards you'd need an interface, I'm guessing. But as a drummer, you could probably get away with just using like your Oculus and your two handheld things. And you could probably have any drum kit in the world sat right in front of you. How responsive it would work, I don't know. And the point I'm making is, in this virtual world, maybe we could go off to Abbey Road Studios. Online, I could call Simon and Jem and say, let's all log in. Let's get in Abbey Road Studios on Meta or whatever it is. I'll choose a drum workshop drum kit, which is something that I'll never be able to afford, and sit in one of the world's most expensive studios, and we could actually do a proper recording, because they'll all be mapped out the same, mics in the right places and everything. Yeah. And at the end of that sort of game, if you like, you'd actually have a recording that would sound like it'd been recorded in Abbey Road. Now, is that where we're going with music?
Well, like you say, with all these, you know, on the Oculuses and that, they've got these programs like you're sitting in a virtual room like Jay's just described. It's very basic at the moment, but will it go that far so you can sort of beam yourself to a place? And like you say, they've mapped out all the acoustics and everything to make it the same, but will it be this? Well, not will it be the same. It's preferences, isn't it?
It's never going to be like a day in Abbey Road, is it? I mean, you know, this is the drive down there, all the excitement of going in that room where the Beatles have been, let alone many others, famous people. But because we always think of the Beatles when we think of Abbey Road, since they took that famous photograph on the zebra crossing and named one of their albums Abbey Road. So
I think what you said earlier, which described it well, was you said it's more of an experience. You know, compare it to Disneyland or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
It's more of an experience you might enjoy, but it's not going to replace, like you say, going into actual studio or Abbey Road. We don't think it's going to replace that sort of interaction between humans.
I don't think you can ever replace it or ever remake it. Is that the right word? Or ever re-represent it? There's a word I can't think of. You can't. Reality is reality, and there's smells and sensory stuff that you get when you go to these places. You'll smell the building and that. That's something you won't get on.
And you know, I think this is going out on a. we're far out, man. But you kind of get the sense when you're playing with people live. You know when that next bar, or you know when it's going to end, and you may know where we're going to go next. But I don't know if you get that with a headset on.
But that's
on a virtual program, you know.
That
kind of intuition, that kind of which you get with people in a room.
Yeah, because we look at each other. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we give each other nods, and of course, you could theoretically do that on this virtual thing, I guess, as long as you can see everybody as clearly as you could in a room. You can see me on drums giving the nod, but I raise my eyebrows normally, look at Simon and go, and that's meaning there's a change coming up now, or this will be the end. This is the end, last bar of the, or 4 and then we're out, that sort of thing. You know?
It's almost like a sixth sense, like an intuition. You know, without saying anything, you know where it's going to stop or where you're going to change.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to describe.
Any band that's been together a long time will tell you that they've got almost telepathy amongst them, and I think that's more or less just habit forming by an individual, and then you watching that habit forming over the years, and then you get to recognise that, and I guess that's your telepathy, if you like.
Yeah. I suppose I'm going to go off on a complete tangent here.
Dude, that's what this video is about.
You know, music technology in general, it's like we discussed, if you've seen our Roland Cloud Revisited, and we were discussing stuff, and we were saying, like, apart from going into the metaverse, in the normal universe, has it reached its peak? You know, because these music companies are just producing boxes with computers in, with new sounds, and there's nothing. Well, I haven't seen anything lately that's remotely exciting, you know.
I think we're relying too much on the age of the iPhone, mobile phone in particular. iPhone, well, there's others, but let's face it, the iPhone is winning the race. Has won the race, should I say?
Yeah.
In my opinion. But you know, you look at kids today, and what do? I mean, if you go around someone's at Christmas Day and they've got kids, they'll all be like this in their phones. But you know, is that where everything is now? Is that where it is, through the glass screen of a computer or a phone? All virtual, which we was kind of promised would be the case many years ago.
I don't know, maybe we're getting old. I think I'd like to go backwards in technology.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
especially for music's sake.
And people's, you know, guitar amps, you're going to use a valve amp.
Yeah.
Bass amps, you probably want to use an Ampeg valve amp. So it's really weird that some instruments are stuck in the old school, but these keyboards they've reached the end of their path. There's nowhere to go on those.
Let's also talk about the efficiency of engines way back in the day. I mean, engines back then, you know, you just one crank and they'd start. You know, they were just so efficient. And they'd have these inline buildings, you know, where you got this great big inline pulley that run every machine in the building by a bit of steam or a water powered paddle, you know, which costs zero to run. Now factories are polluting because of the amount of electric they're using and the pollution they're gushing out, whereas years ago there was no pollution. Alright, there was some industries that did pollute, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We've forgotten how the old technology, in some cases, was a lot better and a lot cleaner
and a lot cheaper, and that was the problem. There was not enough money in it for the suppliers. You know what I'm saying? And someone got a building right next to a river. They put a big wheel there, and it powers all their electric. And the person who's renting or the electrical people selling electric ain't getting any money for it, are they?
And I suppose about the thing with production nowadays is, people want so much more. They don't want like half a dozen done in a day. They want like 10,000.
Yeah.
And your water wheel's not going to keep up.
No, you're right. Well, just a thought there, guys. I mean, look, we were just thinking about it. We saw this meta thing, and I sort of had a chat with Si and said, you know, there'll be a time where me, you, and Jem, we can just go in Abbey Road and record it. We'll all be sitting at home. We think that's coming. Well, we think it already has arrived. I'm not sure, but any thoughts, answers down below, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd just like to say we hope you enjoyed our little crazy one there. But from me, Jason Bangers, and this edition, this episode, this wonderful blue tablecloth in front of us.
That's it.
Try saying that and not meaning it. It's goodbye from me, Jason Bangers.
And it's goodbye from me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Hit the bell, link, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao for now with our lovely blue tabletop.